Hello everyone, my name is Cassandra Brown and I'm here to discuss with you Chapter 13, Personal Computers for our Comms 532 class. The PowerPoint presentation that I have created, you should be able to follow that presentation along with this media presentation. Personal computers is a technology that we've all had a chance to experience. We own computers at home and we work with computers at work and at school. The look, the function, and the systems of personal computers have changed since the first one was ever created. The first computer was kind of bulky. It was expensive, and it was not practical for people to have and own or have in their homes. Personal computers, though, have given us the chance as consumers to have the opportunity to experience the internet and work with different software that not only helps us at work and as students, but also can help us in our homes, organizing our homes, and with our hobbies. Computers are essential to communication technology, and in order for communication to exist, computers must be used to produce the communication and transmit the communication to its destination. The personal computer transformation from large to small in size, price, and functioning power has allowed it to be considered a tool that is relatable to all fields. Since the transformation of the size, prices, and power, the people have been able to now own their own personal computer. Also, the rise of other countries, this change has also allowed other countries to have access to the personal computer, and which has affected their economies, their education, communication, and the politics in those other nations, and has been a positive effect on most of the things that I have just mentioned. One of the stats that's in our textbook when it comes to computer ownership is that in 2011, computer producers shipped over 353 million desktops, laptops, and tablets worldwide. So the popularity of the computer has just risen dramatically since computer producers began to work on, as I stated earlier, the size, the price, the power. They make them smaller and more convenient for people to have. The price has dropped dramatically. It's not $1,000 or $4,000. You can really find a good computer now, maybe a desktop, or for starting like around maybe $390 or so. And also the power. The computers continue to get faster and faster, and are able to process information quicker than before. Another stat that's in our textbook is that 70% of American homes now own computers, and also in the U.S. more than 1.7 billion computers are in use, and that's more computers than in the world. So in the U.S. we're big on computers. We're big on this technology, and to us the internet is also vital, and is used by American consumers a lot. The textbook also provided information that stated that in 2010, Americans spend 35 hours on the internet a month. The computer is one of few consumer products that has seen such a dramatic increase in quality since its creation. So the computer's transformation, this quick transformation for the computer has allowed it to become very popular, and also appealing to all households that people want to have computers on hand. Going to the next slide about background. Herman Hollerith was the inventor of the first practical computer, and I say practical because it was sort of a calculation system type computer where his invention allowed the U.S. Bureau of Census to process the data that they collect quicker than they normally would. He was originally hired by them to help with the data collection issue because they were able to collect data, but it took them 7 years to compile the data, which by the time that they really when they compiled it, the data was invalid and it was pointless, so they would have to start all over. So he created a mechanical counting device that was similar to the counting system that's used by railroad contractors to punch tickets of travelers on the train. Also, let's see, with background information, computers were originally called calculators just because people that were known to solve mathematical problems and equations, they were called computers. So they didn't want to skills of the computer. In 1975, IBM controlled the computer market. IBM was one of the companies that was one of the first companies that were that jumped into the computer producing market. And they were the biggest company when they originally started. And the company produced and it introduced its first practical computer called the MITS Altair 8800. After IBM came Apple, and they developed which is the competitor of IBM, and they created the Apple II that entered the market in 1977, the year after IBM originally released their first computer. And Apple computers was different from IBM computers because they came with keyboards, and they also were powered by Intel chip and the MS-DOS system, which is the Microsoft Disk operating system. The Macintosh by Apple was created then in 1984. This computer was built on a GUI operating system, which was easier to use than the text-based system. The Windows system that we all know did not gain popularity until the mid-90s when the third version of Windows was created. IBM, I guess, were beat by Apple, so they decided to sell their part of the corporation in 2005, and they sold their part to Lenovo, and they began to focus on other things because their influence in PCs had somewhat diminished, because other companies such as Apple were able to produce cheaper and faster computers. And the idea of the portable computer occurred during 1981 with the development of the first one, which was called the Osborne 1. Laptops continued to struggle with the weight issue after this, because that particular laptop was kind of big and it was kind of bulky to try to be portable. But as time went on, laptops were able to become lighter and more powerful than even desktops. Then you have tablets and smartphones that also have become lighter and faster in the past few years than desktops. With the next slide, we go into how computers work. They have hardware, and according to our Grant and Meadows, hardware describes the physical components of a computer, such as the central processing unit, power controllers, memory, storage devices, input devices such as keyboards or touchscreens, and output devices such as printers and video monitors. With how a computer works, not only do they need hardware, they also need a central processing unit, which is also referred to as CPU. And the CPU is one of the most important parts of the hardware. CPU holds the memory and data and the instructions for the software. The memory device for the first computer was very expensive and big and required a vacuum. When computers began to decrease in size, so did the devices and the chips that were used for memory. Like, for example, Texas Instruments was one of the first to create a circuit for a single chip, which occurred in 1958. With the CPU, you have two types of memory, which are random memory, which we know as RAM, and storage memory. RAM was originally measured by megabytes and has changed over years. Now it's measured by gigabytes. In the next slide, we see that the types of storage, we have hard drives. And with hard drives, a driver's capacity is measured in gigabytes, and only the most basic desktop computers today ship with less than 250 gigabytes of hard drive and drive capacity. The drives almost always hold the operating system for a computer, as well as key software programs. Then you have something that's called the solid state drives, or known as SSD, and it uses the use of flash memory with no moving parts. These type drives weigh less and load data into the RAM much more quickly and quiet and use less energy than hard drives do. Then we also have key drives, and with key drives, they're also known as flash drives or thumb drives, and these are the tiny storage devices that we use and we stick into the USB port on our computer, and we can save files and pictures and music and all types of things to the drives. They can attach to the keychain on your keys, so and just plug right into your computer. We also have other devices such as the memory cards, and these memory cards are most PCs with the devices that can access the small memory cards used in digital cameras, music players, and other devices. It's usually a little slot on the side of the computer or the brain that allows you to stick the memory card in there so that you can save information on it. We also have compact CDs where you can store information on, and these were introduced in the early 1980s. Thick discs that will allow us to store music on it and movies and different things such as that nature. Also DVDs, and these are digital video discs that allow us to that kind of replace the CDs as a storage. They look like CDs, but they hold much more information, information than CDs do. Moving on to the next slide with how computers work, a continuation. The software is commands and programs that are needed to load computer memory. Software is used to manipulate messages processed by the computer. This would include documents, movies, spreadsheets, and music. Computers need software to load its memory, and the software and hardware work together in order to manage all the applications for the computer. The operating system, however, this application allows users to write, make calculations, browse the web, create web pages, send and receive emails, play games, edit images, download audio and video, and program other applications. The operating system just provides a platform for all applications, computer applications. Moving on to the next slide, recent developments with hardware. We have tablets, and tablets are the gadgets that we use right now. I know I have, to be honest, I think I have 3 in my household, and it's because they're so easy to access. Instead of having to come to my desk and my desk and try to turn the computer on, wait till it load up, I can just grab my tablet, turn it on. It works with Wi-Fi, and I'm on the internet. I'm checking my emails for school, checking my assignments, turning in assignments. It does everything that my desktop can do, and just as well as it can do it. Tablets have also allowed more people to be able to experience the computer ownership through the use of tablets and other technology. People have other technology that's not as expensive as maybe personal computers. People have been able to own things that are similar to personal computers, but a tablet is close to a personal computer as you can get. The chip size for personal computers are smaller, but they're also faster, and this benefit, the reduction in size benefit, because it allows greater storage, and when working with flash drives, when the tablet also has a chip. These new chips will be able, they power ultrabooks and they allow them to power up instantly. So instead of, like I said, instead of going to my desktop and I sit here maybe 2 or 3 minutes for it to power up and load up all everything, I can just turn my tablet on and it instantly pops up and I'm ready to work. We have the ultrabooks. With ultrabooks and tablets, they took the place of netbooks, because netbooks were like a lower power, cheaper form of a laptop. So ultrabooks and tablets have really taken over when it comes to netbooks and when it comes to desktops. PCs, though, have tried to make a comeback because they have invented, they have invented the all-in-one computer, and this is the and this is what I have at my home, where everything is built into the monitor and it's less cores and it works on Wi-Fi. So it's like the PC is trying to catch up with technology such as laptops, tablets, ultrabooks, and smartphones. They also, like PCs, well, the all-in-one that I have, they have big screens, so it gives you more visibility, and you're not kind of squinching like sometimes you would on a laptop. It's kind of smaller screen, you're trying to look, but it allows you to see more things. It basically looks like a flat screen TV. Moving on to the next slide. Recent development when it comes to software. Software at the Apple's iOS, both the iOS and then the Android, which is not from Apple, both are the backbone for applications, or apps as we call them. A key change in software is the acceptance of Apple's requirements that all apps be acquired through iTunes, giving Apple both approval over third-party apps and a cut of the revenue for all of these applications. Another change that occurred is a change of operating systems for desktops and laptops. We have the Mountain line, which is designed to offer more integration in both look and operation than the ISO system. We have Windows, which controls 90% of all PC usage. And then you have Linux-based, which is an open source and I think most of the time free system. This system holds, it doesn't hold much of the market share because they rarely advertise it, and it's perceived to be difficult to install on your personal computers. Then you also have Chrome, and it debuted in 2011. And Chrome runs Chromebooks, lower power tablets, and lower power laptops that access applications and documents over the internet. With the next slide, the current status. Currently, the U.S. Sales have increased when it comes to computers, just because they're decreasing in size. Intel Pentium remains like the top leader for chip companies that create chips for the computers. Hewlett Packard is the top seller in computers. Microsoft is the top seller in software, and Apple is still the largest non-desktop selling organization there is in the U.S. The next slide. Factors that we need to watch out for when it comes to PCs. Top future computer makers, what they'll have to offer, what they are thinking about computer sales, what they think computers might be, and what new technology they'll venture into when it comes to PCs. Tablet sales. Will tablet sales continue to increase? What type of technology will they invent so that tablets can continue to increase in sales? Windows 8. I know that Windows 8 just came out. Would this software save desktops, personal PCs, or would it just be something that they create and it's not really going to make a difference of the sales in PCs? Ultrabook sales, would they go down, or would something else be invented to take the place of Ultrabooks? And with the new technology that's being created, how would internet traffic be handled? Would it be able to handle it? I know that the IP addresses is going through a change in formatting because they're about to run out of IP numbers. So the address number, so they're about to reformat it. So would the reformatting be able to handle all the new internet traffic that could potentially be because of new technologies and when it comes to PCs? Also, with air traffic, with smartphones and tablets, a lot of people, like I said, it's more handy to just to pick up your phone and pick up your tablet to look up things on the web or type things, because you can type Word documents, Excel. You can do Excel, you can do PowerPoint, and everything that you can do on your desktop, you can do on your phones and your tablets now. So how would air traffic be handled? Would air traffic, would there be issues with that in the future? Also, I talked about the IP address issue earlier. With the fixed help, and the new chips that they're creating, would these chips change how we're operating now with PCs and flash drives and things like that? Will they be economical, and would the 3D chips, would they measure up to what we're used to and provide us with new technology that take us to a different place? And the next new gadget, another invention can come up, just like laptops came in the place of desktops, and then we have tablets that came in the place of laptops, and smartphones that's coming in the place of tablets. So, like, what would be the next new thing, and will it replace something and things that we're currently using now? Which brings me to my question: will personal PCs be able to compete with the continued progress of tablets and laptops? And if not, is there anything that can be done that will allow them to be better competitors? So that's just something to think about. That's something that I thought about. I was thinking about what could PC producers do in order to compete with laptops and tablets and smartphones. So that's just something for you all to think about. If you have any questions for me, any comments, please feel free to email me or leave it in the discussion board forum where I have this presentation and my PowerPoint presentation posted. Thank you for listening to me, and have a great day.